Why don't we start with a very underrated classic? Ultra Games. Operation C. Yes, this was just after Super C on the oh, okay. Yeah, this was just after Super C on the NES. It's one player, just I believe this is Mad Dog going at it alone. Oh, Operation, Operation, Operation starts with C. It doesn't. And in an era of the early Game Boy development where a lot of Game Boy games were just watered down version of NES games, this actually stands out to me because it did a lot on its own to be its own game. You see one of the innovations there. There is a 9 lives code, I think. I'm just not bothering with it. I've got rewind, so whatever. One of the innovations there, the spread starts out as a 3-way spread, and then the second shot you get with it, or the second time you pick it up, it becomes the classic 5-way spread. There is also the machine gun as a default. The improved fireball cannon from Super C. And one other weapon that is awesome beyond belief, and there it is, the hunter gun. The hunter gun rules everything. The one thing Operation C did that I'm not a big fan of, the jumps that you make are a lot more vertical than they are horizontal. So it makes getting over these gaps a little different as far as timing versus what you're used to. Yeah, the Konami code is used to get you an extra ball in pachinko. Which is also pretty useless because you need like hundreds of balls in pachinko, don't you? We have the first boss here, the submarine, and I kind of like this fight. This is a pretty cool boss. Unfortunately, it is very crippled by the hunter gun. And the ultimate targets are those missile silos. Once those are gone, the sub is done. Everything else is secondary. I want to take out the thing in the middle, come on. Okay, and as you see, the sub will submerge if you don't get it done soon enough. But not much of a problem to that. All it does is have a couple of soldiers come out. I like to spray some extra fire around just so it remembers who's boss. Technically, it was the boss, but was. You know, once you beat the boss, you become the boss. And the top-down segments, as in Super C, which I actually liked a lot more than the 3D segments. The 3D segments got kind of confusing to me at times. Oh no, this is one of the things I love about the hunter gun, because you can just kind of hide and You know, yeah, it's like a wussy thing you wouldn't expect out of a real commando, but, you know, screw it, it works. And we have the mid-boss here. If I remember correctly, getting behind it will just end up getting you killed. And at that point, I don't think you can destroy any of the targets anyway, so there's no point. But you have 3 active targets on here. The cannons, the bomb thrower in the center, and the... actually, just the 2 cannons and the bomb thrower in the center. It can dispense enemies out the back, as you can see, as long as it's around, but it ain't around no more. And we got a couple of conveyor belts with 4-way cannons. And hunter gun, if you didn't have one, as you can see, picking it up again won't really do anything for you. But I'm a greedy sod. And another tank, and believe it or not, you can hide again. I'm pretty sure once the once the tank is destroyed, you can run up against it, no problem. Because I used to worry in the days when I just had the game without having the benefit of rewind that I would end up getting stuck behind there. How would one prepare Konami COD? Let's see, you'd bring the heat up, and then you'd rub the butter in the pan until it had melted down. You would next take the scales off of it by using a knife and scraping left, right. And something about BA start, I have no idea what to add in there because I'm not a friggin' cook. I'm amazed I got that much. They did a Game Boy Color port of Alone in the Dark. I mean, on one hand, you know, I can sort of see a little bit of that because the Game Boy Color was very close to a portable NES, if not pretty much a portable NES. But yeah, I was just about to say that, actually. You know, sometimes there's, you know, being too ambitious for your own good. I mean, you know, Axley comes immediately to mind. But, you know, it was on hardware that could have potentially supported it. Uh-oh. Whew. I can't believe... This is one of the few times you can say, thank God I didn't get the spreader. Because, you know, the hunter gun rules everything. I loved it in Contra 3, the Alien Wars on Super Nintendo. Though they did nerf it a little bit, it was still very, very useful. Didn't mean to jump that high. You're probably going to hear me say that again. Didn't mean to jump that high. And another hunter if you need it. Yeah, the hunter gun doesn't quite break the game, but it comes damn close. It definitely makes things a shitload easier. Oh yeah, Didn't they release like a version of it, like Resident Evil Gaiden, I think? As soon as I heard Resident Evil Gaiden, my first thought was Ryu joined Stars. So it's like Jacquio became the nemesis. Okay, I vaguely remember about this boss. Yeah, there is one issue with the hunter gun, though. Okay. There is one issue with the hunter gun. It's sometimes very weird as to how it prioritizes its targets. So you get stuff like where the enemies on the ground don't get aimed at all, whereas the thing in the air that can't really harm you is completely ignored. Or the other way around, rather. Its focus is on the enemy that can't harm you, while the little guys that are about to ram into you just... Weird. I mean, you know, I give him credit for trying, but, you know... You hate to tell somebody, you know, maybe you shouldn't, because you hate to, like, you know, crush somebody's dreams like that. I hate this jump. Okay. But at the same time, nope. Stop walking into the obvious thing not to walk into. Yeah, get used to a lot of rewinding. I think at some point this thing merges with the tank. And I don't remember what, if anything, it does at that point. Other than just kind of wander around like a doofus. Stand on the exploding tank. I'm that good. Holographic wow. Okay, now we got the part with the bugs and the eyes and the, you know, and the ick and the ew and the stuff that would make a Fear Factor judge vomit. I do like with this game they made a fairly admirable job of replicating some of the music. Forced up a narrow channel. I do not like this. Okay, that eye's not a threat, apparently. One of the things I really always liked about Contra, there was a very distinct point where, you know, you knew ahead of time that Red Falcon or whoever had, possessed the bodies of the human soldiers, and, the aliens were using them or whatever. Or you could also pretend they turned the humans alien, which was pretty cool. But there was always a very distinct point where the pretense was dropped. And at that point you immediately knew, okay, we're dealing with fucking aliens here. Ooh. I forgot about that laser. So yeah, this guy can get annoying real quick if you're not careful. Again, the hunter gun helps most of the time. And sticking to the corners seems to be a good strategy. Yeah, you'd be amazed, Misfit Kitten. There are a lot of things you think would be hard to screw up. Jalapeno poppers also are something that should be hard to screw up. But then again, to me, if you put like cheddar cheese in them instead of cream cheese, you've screwed them up. I'm very particular about that. And we got the energy field music here, which I think is a pretty good choice. And keeping running is a good way to deal with these turrets, but you just have to make sure you don't run into the foot soldiers. There's another thing about the high jumping. It doesn't look like you should be able to make that. And that is a gap there, mind it. There is a lot of stuff busting out of the pipes here. I'm pretty sure those things will just run past you if you don't destroy them. Shit. Yeah, it's like a preview of potential future effects there. I hesitated. It's like the Final Destination effect. I would agree as far as Arby's goes, and they also really do have good jalapeno poppers because they go by the cream cheese. But yeah, barring ones from a actual pizzeria, yeah, I would give Arby's the nod. Problem is, nowadays Arby's food has gotten way too expensive. They don't send coupons out like they used to. And the quality has gone way down. Like the last time, I used to get chicken cordon bleus from them. And the last time I got one of those, it was really overdone. Just not good at all. Which is very disappointing, because that was one of my favorite fast food sandwiches. Whoops. Run right into the battery, why not? If you ever happen to get down my way, remind me and I will take you to one that I believe stands up against it. It's a place called Box Hill Pizzeria, and their stuff is absolutely awesome. As I say, if you happen to get down this way, I will treat you to it and show you. Oh, not all of these spew bubbles. Yeah, we have a Wendy's that constantly screws things up. Like they just hire bone stupid workers consistently. But the good thing is, since by Maryland law, if you hand something over the counter, you can't take it back. It means we often get free food from them. Whoops. So we almost count on them screwing up. God damn this guy. How does a KFC not have chicken? God damn, this guy has a lot of shit going on I forgot about. Good lord. Yeah, there is, you know, one other thing to deal with after this guy, but as far as I'm concerned, this is the final boss. It'd be my pleasure, hon. Anytime somebody comes down here, I want to introduce them to this place. If you want to look them up online, their name is Box Hill Pizzeria. And one of the coolest things about them... Oh, you bitch. One of the coolest things about them, they ship crab cakes anywhere in the U.S. And this is your sort of final boss. This has sort of gotten a Gradius tradition going. Sadly, you can't just stare at it and watch it self-destruct. Whoopie 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 whoopie. And as the credits and pretty cool music roll here, hello Goober Slot, this is Operation C for the Game Boy, and welcome to the stream. As the credits roll here, there's a Taco Bell that's part of the KFC close to me. They actually have some of the coolest people I've ever met working there, because I used to love like beef burritos without onions and with extra cheese, and a beef burrito was part of the menu. But what I did was I was like, asked them one day, is there any way I can get something like this? And they charged me for a bean burrito, which is pretty inexpensive. Took the bean off, added beef, and added extra cheese. So by the time it was done, it was like $3. And what I did was I kept my receipt from that order, and every time I come in, I just hand them the receipt and say, here, could you please make this? And it's a lot easier than explaining it over and over. And the cashier did it. We get along pretty famously. The manager likes me. Most everybody there knows I'm pretty easygoing, so I can get the Taco Bell meal that I've always wanted. Goober Slot, I keep a couple of them, and I fold them inward. It doesn't necessarily stop it, but it arrests it from happening for a while. Okay, so that is Operation C, and that was one of the Game Boy games I really remember very fondly. That wasn't just, wasn't just trying to completely bite off its Nintendo counterpart. It actually brought something new to the party.